So today we had our first kind of sort of real snow day, and it inspired me to do a little bit of baking to kind of cozy up the apartment. So I'm going to be teaching you about a recipe that's really old from Hildegard von Bingen, and she is a medieval herbalist who is from Germany. And so we're going to be making some cookies from her book Physica. So this one focuses on nutmeg, and it says nutmeg has great heat and in good moderation in its powers. If a person eats nutmeg, it will open up his heart, make his judgment free from obstruction, and give him a good disposition. Take some nutmeg and an equal weight of cinnamon and a bit of cloves, and pulverize them. Make small cakes with this, and the fine whole wheat flour and water. Eat them often. It will calm all bitterness of the heart and mind, open your heart and impaired senses, and make your mind cheerful. It purifies your senses and diminishes all harmful humors in you. It gives good liquid to your blood and makes you strong. And so we are going to take inspiration from this recipe and forage it up a little bit. So here I have my handy dandy spice grinder, and I'm going to be putting in some turmeric and some ginger. And as per Hildegard's recipe, we're going to put in some cinnamon. Where is the nutmeg? Here's the nutmeg. So this is whole nutmeg right here. Maybe we'll put in just a little more. We're going to add some allspice, some cardamom. These are some scraped out vanilla beans, so there's no caviar left in here, but I saved the outside because the outside still has good flavor in it, so we're going to put those in. Then we're going to put in a couple cloves, some paddles of star anise, and a little bit of saffron. So this is from a friend of mine who grows saffron. We're only going to use a couple of threads. And last but not least, some mastic, which is a spice made from the inside of cherry pits ground up. And so we are going to pulverize, and that looks good. Oh, and it smells wonderful. So to the cutting board, we're going to put down about 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then we're going to add a large pinch of spruce needles that have been preserved in syrup, and some spice bush flowers and twigs which have been preserved in syrup, and some wisteria flowers which have also been preserved in sugar. And then last but not least, we're going to add in 6 or 7 spice bush berries, because we are doing a foraged spiced cookie. And then we're going to chop all of this up. And the reason we put the sugar down is because the sugar will help catch the oil and essence and resin from all of these beautiful plant products so that it doesn't get into the cutting board. Beautiful. So to our nice clean bowl, we are going to add 3 cups of flour, or 360 grams. We are then going to add all our spices. Three-quarters of a teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt, 150 grams of sugar, or 3/4 of a cup. We are going to mix this together. And 12 tablespoons of very, very soft butter, which you're then going to work into the dough. Alrighty. We are now going to add in 255 grams of molasses, or about 3/4 of a cup, 2 tablespoons of milk. And we're going to mix this until just combined. So now we're going to take this piece of parchment paper and fold it in half, which is going to be about the size of our baking sheet. And we're going to take half of and roll it in the pocket inside. So one is done. And now we'll do the other one. And firm, but it's not too hard. So now all we have to do is peel off this top layer. So now these are going to go into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, or until they are nice and brown and firm. So the cookies have come out of the oven, and now we're going to cool them on these sheets for 10 minutes, and then we will cool them on the rack until they're nice and hard, and then we'll snap them apart. So the cookies have been drying overnight because I find that these, they get a better crunch if I leave it in the oven, and you can hear that nice snap. And they're out. Wow. It's almost like handy. I mean, maybe because there's an absurd amount of sugar in here, but there. I thought I would taste more of the ginger, but what I'm really getting is the spice bush and the wisteria, which both flavors of spring, and it's very cold here, or at least it's a lot colder than it has been for a while, and so this is a really welcome bite for this very cold January day. So I encourage you to try making these. Happy foraging! So something else I wanted to point out with these is, as I'm breaking them apart, they're all different shapes, and I kind of like that. I think it adds to the snap, sort of the ginger snap. And so you can see this whole sheet has a really nice sound to it as I'm breaking it apart. And you can break the pieces even smaller if you want. But I think they make kind of like fun cookies with this like really jagged shape. And then you can see the inside is nice and open, well aerated.